Let's be honest here. When most of us think of space operas, we're really thinking of Star Wars. And with good cause. Star Wars took the genre, which is essentially adventurous melodrama set in outer space, and found just the right way to take it seriously. But there are many other great space opera movies out there. Let's take a look at some of the best. Roger Vadim's cult adaptation of Jean-Claude Forest's comic book stars Jane Fonda as an outer space special agent tasked with finding a missing scientist. Along the way, she fights and/or has sex with just about everybody. The design of Barbarella is distinctive and bizarre, and the film's flagrant 1960s free love mentality is equal parts amusing and quizzical by today's standards.
You asked me what you could do for me, and I told you.
Well, all right.
Fans of the novels were disappointed by David Lynch's expensive reimagining of the space opera epic about warring clans, a desert planet, and gigantic worms. Especially gigantic worms. If you can accept that bad adaptations can still be good films, Dune is a fairly remarkable art house interpretation of a Hollywood blockbuster. This is what happens when the creator of Twin Peaks gets crazy money to make a movie about alien planets and giant monsters. It's hypnotic, for better or worse. Luc Besson's bright, whimsical sci-fi action comedy is an outlandish splash page of a motion picture. Bruce Willis plays a cab driver who's also a super tough soldier who stumbles across an alien girl who's also the key to saving the universe. Hilarious, fast-paced, and exciting, The Fifth Element is one of the most exuberant space operas ever made.
I know.
Flash Gordon is, in its own way, as giant and ambitious as Star Wars, but it is also, by design, incredibly cheesy. That's what happens when you get the writer of the Adam West Batman television series to adapt the iconic outer space hero as he travels to a distant planet, fights bad guys, plays football, teams up with Hawkman, and falls in love. It's wildly eccentric and wonderful. The story of a group of Star Trek-like TV actors who get confused for their characters and recruited to fight an interstellar war, Galaxy Quest is full of spot-on jokes about the sci-fi genre.
Don't open that! It's an alien planet! Is there air? You don't know!
It's great satire, but it's also a smart adventure full of engaging characters, real consequences, and genuine emotions. The story of a ragtag band of total jerks who form a slapdash family while they save the universe, but only because no one else was around to do it, Guardians of the Galaxy features a great ensemble cast and a wonderful impromptu dance-off. It's one of the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movies ever, and the sequel deserves an honorable mention too. Watching the sublimely odd Jupiter Ascending Now, free from the negative hype during its release, reveals a clever and expansive vision of a sci-fi universe built off the principles of predatory capitalism. Mila Kunis plays a pauper who discovers she's inherited the planet Earth, but what could have been her Disney princess fantasy come to life gets constantly subverted as she learns just how much power can corrupt. It's a film with big ideas and wild imagery, and it's worthy of reappraisal. A teenager finally beats a video game, only to discover that the arcade cabinet was a training device, and he's accidentally joined an interstellar armada. The last Starfighter's wish fulfillment fantasy has a great hook, but also memorable characters, quotable dialogue, and one heck of a great score. The film didn't just entertain a generation of kids, it told them that their fantastical dreams had a hidden value that their parents just can't understand.
What is all this?
Joss Whedon's short-lived science fiction series Firefly got a sequel movie with 2005's Serenity. And while it may have been too fast-paced and exposition-laden to captivate new fans, the pre-existing base rallied around the film. The ensemble cast is as dynamic as ever, the story answers a lot of the leftover questions from the series, and the biggest dramatic moments sting like nobody's business. Paul Verhoeven's adaptation of Robert Heinlein's space war epic twisted the pro-war concept in on itself. It created a satirical propaganda film that highlights just how much Hollywood blockbusters gloss over the horrors of battle and their close connection between xenophobia and fascism. You can watch Starship Troopers as a cool action movie, but if you look at all the layers, you'll see it's one of the most political action movies ever made. The 3 Thor movies are all technically space operas, but the first one spends most of its time on Earth, and the second one isn't particularly good. Thor Ragnarok finally finds the sweet spot with bizarre alien concepts, awesome gladiator fights, a lot of memorable villains, and an incredible score. This movie is just as big and weird as anyone could possibly want it to be.
Is that some sort of protoplasm, all the stuff that's coming out of you, or are they eggs?
Luc Besson's adaptation of the influential French comic book was probably too strange to appeal to mainstream audiences, but it offers some of the most incredible sci-fi imagery ever put on screen, plus an inventive storyline full of unpredictable action set pieces and thoughtful themes. Those are our picks for the best space operas that aren't Star Wars. Let us know yours in the comments. For even more movie madness, be sure to check out our list of Disney's biggest action movie failures and the worst video game movies ever made. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe to IGN on all your favorite platforms.